Welcome, everyone. My name is Tracy Murphy-Poxtis, and this is Good to Great in Under 8, the weekly show for motivated professionals who want to start having greater impact and feeling more fulfilled in their careers. So, guys, during the last show, I spent some time talking about the 3 most common innate roadblocks that get in the way of us making good decisions, good and wise decisions. And those roadblocks were being uncomfortable or overwhelmed with uncertainty. The second was around allowing your ego or your pride to get in the way. And the third was being fearful that you'll make a wrong or a bad decision. And so if you missed last week's show where I went into detail on these, you can watch the recording on the Learning Corner page of my website at tracymurphycoaching.com. So today what I'm going to do is share with you guys a couple of strategies for how to overcome and get past these roadblocks so that you can make the best decision possible. And so the first thing and the easiest thing to do is to first and foremost do everything that you possibly can to drive as much certainty as you possibly can, or to minimize the uncertainty. So when I work with my clients, we typically start out and we create a list of all the things that they're really uncertain about. Right? All the things that they're uncertain about that could really impact the decision they're trying to make. And then what we do is we spend some time and we really dive deep into what they can do or how they can get more certainty. Right? So sometimes we think something might be uncertain, but if we really think about it, there might be something that we can do. Right? So sometimes we might need to talk to a colleague. Sometimes we might need to talk to several colleagues. In other cases in working with clients, it requires doing some additional research. But the point here, guys, is that I want you to really think about what you can do to drive as much certainty as possible, because that's going to be the biggest thing for you. Not to mention, it's also going to be the easiest thing for you to do. But once that's done, then the hard work really begins, right? Then what we need to do is really start recognizing and working through any anxiety or insecurity that comes up for us, especially around some of those remaining uncertainties. And then at this point, the goal really becomes, how do you effectively manage and work through that anxiety, stress, or insecurity so that you don't get pushed into that fight or flight mode, right? Because when you do that, then you start making decisions from a place of self-survival and self-protection. And honestly, that never tends to turn out really well. And so when you're in that point where you're feeling that anxiety and that insecurity, the one thing that I want you guys to really recognize at this point is that all you are right now is uncomfortable, right? All you are is uncomfortable. And yes, I will give you, being uncomfortable absolutely sucks, but it's not the end of the world. It might actually just be the first time that you're allowing yourself to sit in that uncomfortableness and not act from it. And so I want you to, again, remember, all you are is uncomfortable. There is no real threat to you. And so you don't have to act from a place of self-protection or self-survival just because you're uncomfortable. Instead, take the time and explore what's driving the anxiety and the stress or the insecurity, right? So for example, maybe you're feeling anxious or stressed because you're afraid if you make an imperfect decision, it's going to impact the entire trajectory of your career, right? That you'll be known as the person who did XYZ. So once you've identified what that insecurity is, the next question I want you to ask is, how true is that? right? How true is it that the future trajectory of my career is going to be undeniably altered and I'll be labeled as an XYZ if I make a bad choice? Honestly, guys, in my experience, 9 times out of 10, we've told ourselves a story about this. And it's that story that's created that anxiety and insecurity. And it's not true, right? We've simply just got ourselves believing that it's true. And so bottom line, it just comes down to getting a reality grip on these beliefs, right? And setting yourself straight. So in this example, it could be just calling BS on yourself, right? That there really aren't any irrevocable consequences on your career if your decision turns out to be less than perfect, right? Instead, hey, if that happens, you'll start to recognize that all people at some point in their career make less than optimal decisions, right? And that making a less than optimal decision honestly is part of being a great leader, and it's part of the learning process that's going to propel you into future greatness, right? That's the story that's going to move you forward. And so guys, give these strategies a try and let me know how they work for you. I'd really love to hear your experiences and your thoughts. So please email them to me at tracy@tracymurphycoaching.com. And if you're struggling to uncover what those insecurities and anxieties might be for you, definitely reach out. Email me, go to the website and fill out the contact me form. We'll get a conversation started and get you moving past it. So that's it for today, guys. Have a great week, and I will see you next time.